In the name of God, the king's execution in early 1792 was a victory for the Republicans and the Paris Commune and made all king killers to the Republic. Just 3 days after the king's execution in France, Britain expelled the French ambassador because the British authorities were terrified of this action. A union was then formed against France, and the governments of Britain, Prussia, the Netherlands, Austria, and Spain united against France. The convention declared martial law on March 10 and to monitor alien against and political crimes formed the National Salvation Committee, a military cabinet in wartime, and had absolute power. Committee agents could enter the homes and arrest anyone accused of treason. The convention formed the Revolutionary Court to convict suspects without observing legal procedures. The National Salvation Committee and the Revolutionary Court ruled over all French affairs. But with all these measures, the convention was still open to the commons and the sans-culottes. Some of the actions of the convention led by the Girondins were not accepted by the sans-culottes. The convention, which felt threatened by some of the extremist action to arrest Robespierre and Marat, but it was not done with the support of the people and the Paris Commune. A few days later, on the 31 May 1793, a revolutionary council was formed in the city of Paris. They agreed with the National Guard, and the National Rescue Committee then went to the convention and imposed their terms on the delegates. From then on, the convention became the subject of the National Salvation Committee and the Paris Commune. This action was, in fact, a revolution in the French Revolution. The Paris Commune had now defeated the bourgeois and had temporarily declared the dictatorship of the proletariat. Robespierre has since become president of the convention. On July 10, the convention renewed the powers of the National Rescue Committee. Danton resigned as chairman of the committee, and Robespierre became chairman. Robespierre was now both chairman of the National Rescue Committee and chairman of the convention. From now on, a long period of terror reigned in France that the triangle of Robespierre and Couthon and Saint-Just guided the killing machine. All three were members of the Presidium of the Convention. Meanwhile, many representatives of the Gironde and the bourgeois were persecuted. Some were executed and some escaped. 2,700 people were killed in Paris and about 20,000 in all of France. The property of the convicts, who were often nobles and bourgeois, was confiscated, which provided great benefits for the revolutionary government. The three dictators turned the revolutionary court into a court of blood. One of the judges of the revolutionary court had said, I'm always convinced anyone who appears in this court will be convicted. The trials did not last more than a few minutes, and the defendants were already convicted. But in late 1793, with the victories that the revolutionary army had achieved on the battlefields, Danton, former chairman of the National Rescue Committee, he was convinced that further bloodshed and assassination was no longer necessary and political prisoners must be released. Let us not forget that more than 300,000 people were imprisoned as counter revolutionaries. Camille Desmoulins and Danton formed a group called the Mercy Society, who became known as moderates and benefactors, and their goal was to free thousands of prisoners who were in prison for political reasons. Robespierre saw this as a threat to the revolution. He used Danton's financial records as chairman of the National Rescue Committee. Of course, Danton had ridiculed Robespierre many times for the violence and dryness of benefit. Robespierre, with the help of Saint Just, was a member of the convention. Byrd filed an indictment against Danton and sent to the revolutionary court. Danton and Desmoulins are sentenced to death for embezzlement. Robespierre, with the help of Saint Just, was a member of the convention. Byrd filed a indictment against Danton and sent to the revolutionary court. Danton sat in prison. It was a day like today when I formed the revolutionary court. For this reason, I apologize to God and man. Danton defended herself so much in the first court hearing that impressed the audience and the judge. But Robespierre, under the pretext that he and Desmoulins are plotting against the revolution, declared them outside the protection of the law. Jury members who feared for their lives announced that they were ready to issue the death sentence.